name was Anna, and my father's name was Nathan.
And what was your mother's maiden name?
Kearns, the same name,
Okay. Kearns?
K-E-R-N-S.
Okay. And how many brothers and sisters did you have?
We were 4 girls, 4 sisters. With me, I think it's 4.
Okay.
And brothers, we had a big family. We had 5 brothers.
Oh.
I have 5 brothers, not
Jeez.
we.
Do you remember any of their names?
Some of them.
Tell us the ones you do remember.
This is going to be like Russian names.
Go ahead.
Misha
Okay.
and Ram
Okay.
and Selma.
Okay.
You know, oh, that's because now what else? Yasha.
Okay.
Yasha's the youngest one. And yeah, that's. And then I had 4 sisters. We were a big family. And I had 9 kids.
What did your father do for a living?
They were in. They had how should I say that? A lumber yard,
Okay.
and I used to sell lumber.
And did your mother work, or did she just stay at home?
No, listen, 9 kids.
She was at home.
She stayed.
How old were you when you came to the United States?
I was about 15, I think, or 16, something like that.
And who did you stay with while you were here?
Auntie, the old auntie, and uncle.
And what did you have to do while you were here? Did you know English when you came?
No, not a word.
Who taught you how to speak English?
Just like that, I went to school a little and then I went to work. I had to send money to my parents, to my mother. My father was killed, and she was left with a bunch of kids. So we had all enough to go to work.
And what did you do for a job? I know a cigar factory.
Huh?
I know you worked at a
Yeah,
cigar factory.
cigar factory. That was the one job I had.
Okay. How did,
That was my uncle, and you know, he knew I needed the job, and I stayed there until I got married.
now, were both your parents from Russia?
Yeah. And see, my father's name was Kearns, and he married my mother, and her maiden name, they were no relation, but her maiden name was Kearns.
Oh, her maiden name was Kearns
From
too?
different towns, different area.
What do you remember the most about Russia?
Well, at times it was good, and most of the times it wasn't. There was a hunger. The kids were running around in the house. They were hungry. There was nothing at times. You know, my father was killed there by the bandits.
How old were you when your father died?
Hmm?
How old were you when your father died?
Me?
Yeah.
I must have been about 14.
Oh, so it was right before you left.
Hmm?
Right before you left.
A couple of years.
Um,
The
what,
hardship to live there was a
what town did you live in Russia?
Pereyaslav.
Pereyaslav?
Yeah, and then I went to live with my aunt in Kiev. That's a big
Oh, Kiev. We've
yeah.
heard.
And they found a job for me, so I stayed with them. My mother's sister.
So after
Two
you,
sisters.
after your father died, you and all your 8 of your brothers and sisters went to live with an aunt in Kiev?
Not all of them.
Oh, they
Just,
split up?
You know, just a couple.
Oh.
Do you remember who was in power when you left Russia? Who was the, what was it, president? Is that
Well,
It was a czar back then.
czar? Who was the czar back then?
the Tsar was way down already. They knocked him down. It was the Russians was in power. It was
Bolshevik?
the Russian Revolution, and the shooting, and we went through hell. we had to lay on the floor for hours and hours and not move.
And didn't you hide under tables?
Under the tables, under the bed. It was a terrible time there.
Now, how did you finally get to come to this country?
Oh, but yeah, my aunt and uncle, the older,
Years just back then, did they go through to the 12th grade?
what?
Back then, did you go through from kindergarten to the 12th grade
No,
here?
no.
How far did you go?
I started,
You were 15 when you started.
see, I went to, what kind of school it is? It was a school that for people that come over, so you
Okay.
go there. That's, they teach you a lot.
Okay, so you went to like a specialty school.
Not me alone. there
Right,
was,
exactly.
you know,
But you went to a specialty school where they knew you spoke Russian and they
Yeah.
tried to
Yeah.
get you to start speaking the English language and transferring. Now, where were you in the line of the 9 children?
I had, let me see, I would say the 4th or the 5th, something like that.
Okay, so you were kind of in the middle. Now, Grandpa, how did you meet Grandpa?
Oh, we joined the club, and we used to have a lot of fun there. All the boys and girls, and we would, that's the way we met.
Now, how did you, didn't you always do it like in a group?
Yeah, we were
Now,
a
how did you
group.
guys segregate off by yourselves?
Well, as time went on, you know, so you go with whoever you want, you know. So you go with some girlfriends and the boyfriends, and you go by couples, you know.
Right.
It was fun.
Now, how long after you met Grandpa did he ask you to get married?
Maybe we went out for about 8-9 months. or something. A long time. Yeah.
Now, do you remember how he proposed to you or no?
You want to know everything,
Yeah.
Susie, Boozy.
Do you remember how he proposed?
How do you? Well, what do you think? How's about getting married? I said, okay.
Was Grandpa romantic?
Yeah. He was a nice sketch. He was a nice sketch, you know that.
Actually, I don't have a real lot of
You
memories.
don't remember?
No, not a lot. I remember like the muscles, and you guys would come and pick us up and get ice cream, and you had that big car, and you had that like armrest in the back seat, and we'd fight over who would sit on it, and if we'd fight, you'd say nobody will get to sit on it. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
I don't. And I remember what he looked like, and I remember more your old house.
Yeah.
You know, that little cupboard thing that you had
Yeah.
there, and your candy dish, and how I used to want to sneak the candy.
Yeah.
That I remember, stuff like that. And I remember you had like 3 bedrooms in there. And you had like the bathroom, you
Yeah,
had
but
the 1 bedroom,
3
and
bedroom.
you had the other one, and then you had that one on the side. And I
You
remember Baron.
that?
Yeah, Baron, I remember.
Who's Baron the dog?
The dog.
Baron the dog.
Do you think marriages back when you first got married were easier or more difficult than the marriages are today?
I would think that wasn't too hard. I think it was maybe today is worse.
Just from what you see with your grandchildren.
Well, they're happy. Most of my grandchildren are happy, right?
Do you know how many grandchildren and great-grandchildren you have now?
Do you keep track, huh?
Yeah, I could probably,
I think about 11, 12.
you have 11, let's see. You have, let's see, 8 grandchildren. You have 4 from Melvin, 4 from mom and dad.
Yeah.
So that's 8 grandchildren. And then great-grandchildren, you have more because it's sprung off now, so you figure Dave's got 3, Holly's got 2, I've got 2, Michael's got 2, Brenda's got 2, Judy's got 2, and Nancy's got 1, so you've got 14 great-grandchildren right now. And that's not including David or if anyone has any more.
Yeah. Wait, you can include them? What is the difference?
Well, I'm saying if you, right now you only have 14. If you had to sum up One thing in your life, what do you think is your greatest accomplishment?
Marrying your grandpa.
Marrying my grandfather? Tell
And
us.
coming here to the United States, having the kids, you know.
Why don't you describe Grandpa for us?
He was very ambitious. He was a good provider.
What did he do for a living?
Gloves.
How did he get into the glove manufacturing business?
He worked in the glove shop first, and then they liked his work, and then he went in. And later on, he opened up a glove shop for himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then he took in the boys, Melvin and your dad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. So they got, you know, accomplished something.
How tall was Grandpa?
He wasn't very tall. I think he was tall as,
Was he that tall? 5'10"?
maybe a little short, I don't know, but you know, you forget that so many years, don't forget.
Yeah. Now, when you first found out you were pregnant, where were you living?
We stayed with my aunt for a while, and then we moved to that house that you remember.
On is it not Congress, was it?
Huh?
What's
No,
it?
no.
Locust?
Locust.
Locust. Okay.
Then he bought on 49, the big house. You
Right.
remember that one?
Yes,
That was
that's
a
the one.
beauty.
That's the one I remember.
Hey, kids!
Now, when you first came here to Russia, who were some of the friends that you had and kept throughout the years?
You know,
I got
you never
cookies.
stopped seeing Katie.
Yeah.
I met
I
him in
got
Russia.
cookies.
Oh, you met them in Russia?
Daddy got
Oh, they came from
cookies,
Russia
Daddy.
too. I thought Katie came from Mexico, or she had.
Well, later on.
Oh,
When
later.
She got
Oh.
married. She got married to Jack, you know,
Mhm.
and then she went to Mexico.
Oh, I thought when she was a little girl.
No, I think she came from Russia. I think they couldn't come to America right away, so they went to Mexico, and that's when she met Jack.
Oh, okay.
Then they fell in love, and later on, the family brought them over
Okay.
to Milwaukee.
Now,
And Sophie, you know, sing.
how would you best describe yourself?
What can I tell you? What is that to tell?
How tall are you?
I told him 5'4", something like that. What do you think?
I think 5'2". Aren't you about the same height as like Mom and the girls? You're about 5'2". Yeah, you're about 5'2".
Or I say 5'2", what do I care?
Because you were Zoftic when I
Yeah,
when-
well,
Now, I remember you used
after
to.
having kids, and you get, you know.
Some of us do. Some of us get smaller after having kids, but that's only a reversive process, though. Now, do you have any regrets in life?
No. I regretted that, my life was disrupted, you know, if I died. And
Yeah.
that's a regret, big regret. So,
Is there anything else that you would want to do in your lifetime that you haven't got to do? You feel that you've lived a fruitful life, that you got to do everything you want?
well, yeah, I traveled.
Oh yeah, you got to travel plenty. You got to go you've been to Hawaii, you've been to Israel, didn't you go to London? You've been to,
I've been in a lot of places.
yeah, the whole West Coast
You know
with
who?
us.
Stephen.
Yeah, and you went on the whole West Coast with us,
Yeah,
that time with Becky.
that's right.
Um,
Back in we traveled.
Yeah, and she loves laundromats.
Who?
You?
Yeah.
You and Becky love
Yeah,
laundromats?
we wanted to wash, you know. Keep the kids clean too.
No, you wanted to take a pish. You went by the laundromat.
Oh.
You forgot that story. You got to go, let's see, I'm trying to think about it. Did you go to France?
No.
You've been to Hawaii though a couple of times. You've been to Alaska.
Oh, yeah.
You got to go on your cruise to Alaska. Where else? You've been with somewhere else with Mom and Dad. Washington you've been to.
Yeah.
You've been to almost a lot of the
St.
states.
Louis.
St. Louis. Oh yeah, you've come to St. Louis with us quite a few times. Now, do you have any memories of stuff that you did with Grandpa as while you were growing up with the kids?
Well, he was busy working, you know, he got his own place, so he was busy, he was a worker.
And did you guys take summer vacations?
He just like weekends, that's all.
And where would you guys go?
Huh?
Where would you go?
Till late, summer.
Didn't you guys go up to Canada or Michigan or something?
Oh yeah, we used to go to Michigan. You remember that?
I just remember little stories I hear. Now, out of all your children no, not all your children got married. That could be a regret that
Stephen,
your
yeah.
one son never got married.
Want to go, huh?
Yeah,
I hope.
because you've had 2 of your kids out of 3 kids get married. And you do see a big change of how children have changed throughout the years? When you were,
Towards me, you mean?
no, not towards you, just in general, how if they had more respect back when you were first raising children to now, when you see your great-grandchildren now. Do you see a big change where it was,
In children. You mean?
yeah, in children?
Well, I suppose.
It's just like the marriage thing.
Children from before, they were older and they had more respect, and little kids are, you know how it is.
Yeah.
You find out,
Yeah, I see that they don't have as much respect. It's changed since I was a kid. It's changed.
See?
So I mean, I'm sure it's changed a lot since from when you probably even thought we were less respectful than when you were a kid to when my mom was a kid, and so when you see all your
They
grandchildren.
were okay.
I mean, because I remember when you used to babysit us. You got to babysit us. Now, why didn't you ever get a driver's license?
Believe it or not, I drove a car already. And then, I don't know what happened, and then I said, no, I don't want it.
So you just decided you just didn't want to?
I don't know if I bumped in someplace or something, but I just didn't want to. And I regret to this day that I did it.
Yeah, because
It would have been so much easier for me, You sit down and you go whatever you want. This way you gotta wait till they pick you up,
Oh, yeah.
But I have no kid coming. My kids are very good. They take care of me.
Oh, yeah. That's because you took care of us, too.
Thank God I don't have to ask them for, financial things. But otherwise they're nice, And, that's...
Yeah.
Grandpa saw that he really saw that I should be able to live without asking anybody going to work or anything. So I didn't work at all. I worked before I was married in a cigar factory for my uncle.
Yeah. So you never had to work at all while you were married. Now, either did Mom. Mom didn't either.
Well, your mom worked.
Only before she was married. She
Yeah,
didn't work
before,
after.
yeah.
What did Mom do?
I think she worked in the office. I think we're gonna ask her right away. We'll get her on the chair.
Now, did you ever have a favorite of all your children?
No,
How about any of your grandchildren?
no.
How about your
I
great-grandchildren?
love them all.
You love them all the same?
See, mother-in-law, so don't you love all your kids?
I have
All your
2.
kids, you only have 2 kids.
I have 2. I got smarter in the years I wasn't going to have more than 2. I got lucky. I had boys.
Yeah.
You at least went girl, boy, boy.
Yeah, listen, I had, let's see,
Now, how far apart are all of your kids? Mom is the oldest.
yeah. And then I had,
Melvin.
Be careful, honey.
Then you had Melvin, and what's the age difference between Melvin and
Melvin,
Mom?
and then I had another girl, Lisa, no, 2. I had, let's see, your ma, 4 girls, I think I had. Let's see, your ma,
Grandma, you had one girl.
Lisa, 1, Ma's 1, and Lisa.
Who's Lisa?
Oh, they were my sisters.
Yeah. See?
I mixed it up.
Yeah. You had Mom, and then what was the age difference between Mom and Melvin?
4 years apart.
Mom and Melvin are 4? What about Stephen and Melvin?
More.
Yeah, because when Mom got married, Stephen was like 9.
Hmm?
Stephen was like 9 when Mom got married.
Yeah.
So
something
what's the
like
age
that,
difference
maybe
between
younger.
Melvin and Stephen?
4 or 5 years.
Is it that short? So that, yeah.
That's about all. Be careful, honey.
And then how old were you when you had your first child? Or actually, how old were you when you got married?
Oh. I'd say about 18.
You were 18?
17, 18, yeah.
You never had a regret getting married so young?
No.
And how old were you when you had your first child?
Huh?
How old were you when you got pregnant with your first child?
No.
Was
I
it?
like to have them back.
No, I'm saying how old were you when you had?
Oh, when I had, well, about 2 years later. No,
No, Betsy.
2 years later.
2 years later? So you were married for 2 years before you had your first? No.
Could be dark.
Now, what was your reaction when you first found out you were pregnant? Were you happy,
Oh, yeah.
excited? Was Grandpa excited too?
Yeah.
Now, how did he help in the, see, nowadays, the father comes into the delivery room with you and helps you. What was Grandpa's part when you were pregnant
They
with
let
Mom?
him in,
Did they let him in?
yeah.
And
Not for long, just a few minutes. So they had, I think, and then they said, well, now, you know.
now, do you remember what Mom looked like when she was first born? Was she a hairy baby? I know she had a big head and a little body.
Not scary.
Yeah.
Like little infants, you know.
Do you remember how much she weighed?
Huh?
Do you remember how much she weighed?
I think about, I don't remember, to tell you the truth. Be careful.
Trying to think of things that I've always wanted to know.
Mama.
And she was,
Now,
he knows me, right?
what years were your, do you remember what years your father and mother were born in? And what months?
I see you, Mama.
Spencer,
I don't.
come
Tell you
down.
the truth.
Now, when's your birthday?
We had 9 kids running it out.
Yeah.
My-
Do you know what year your parents were born in, I'm saying?
When I.
No, your parents, when,
No, I
their
don't.
birth dates at
I
all?
don't remember that.
You don't remember their birth
So
dates?
long way.
So, the last contact you had was, you remember what year?
Hmm?
Do you remember the last contact you had with your family? And who was it? Was it with your mother or one of your brothers or sisters?
My father was killed when he was quite young. He was going to see his parents and he was killed on the way. He and there was another couple.
Mm. Now, the last contact you had, was it with your mother or one of your siblings, one of your brothers and sisters? Who was the last one you had contact
My
with?
brother.
Your brothers and sisters? So the last you heard, everyone was still alive, including your mother?
My mother died.
When did your mother die?
And my father was killed. And that was a rough time.
Was your mother killed also because of the war?
No, but they got them a bunch of people and they just like beat them up
And your mother was one of them?
Sure.
Hmm.
Now they were black and blue. Lucky they let them out.
Now,
Very tough living there. Oh,
Who actually did the
scary.
beating?
Russia.
Russian soldiers?
Yeah, they used to change. One night, one group would come in, army would come in, like there was, with Lura, there was all kinds of Russian names, the names of the army. They would come in and they would go to the houses, they would rip everything up and take it away, and then a night or two later, there was another one came in and they beat you up, and there was a miserable life.
and they beat kids too?
Huh?
Did they beat kids too?
Yeah, if they were in their way, they would just throw them
Now, did you ever get beat from the soldiers?
from there.
No.
Was it
I
was
used to hide under the bed.
it communist soldiers that were?
Yeah, when they
Because-
first came in, the communists, they were rough, and there was there were bands of rough people, rough robbers. They would take the shirt out of your back, take everything away from the house, and
What type of transportation did they have back then? Was it just horse?
No horse, and they have like,
Carriages or cars?
cars.
Oh, they had cars.
Yeah, a tramway they called it.
Oh, I'm trying to buy. Did you ever hear it?
It's Russian made, obviously. Did you tell a story about the relative who was murdered in the front lawn?
It ran out of electricity.
It ran like in
Oh, they could come.
Good, they're making you use your mind, that's good.
Now, when Mom told you that, now did Dicka come to you and ask you for Mom's hand in marriage? Do you remember that?
No, he just, he came,
Mm-hmm.
came to call, to the house, and then he just asked them, you know, he said, I want to talk to you. And so he said, you know, we want to get married. Do you approve? Do you can give us, you know, permission? So Mama says, well, nice boy, what the heck? Okay.
Did you like Dad right away?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We were going around for quite, we belonged to a club. We were going around, you know, with different friends.
Now, did you meet Grandma Mandelman before this whole thing took place? Before Dad and Mom decided to get married, did you meet Grandma Mandelman?
Oh, yeah.
And
Sure.
you got to meet my grandfather too, didn't you?
Oh, Sidney, yeah. He was a fun guy. He was so nice. Still love him, honest to God. To know him and still love him. He was coming and he would come and singing, you know.
See,
You don't remember him.
Mom was pregnant with me when he died.
Yeah. Oh, he was nice. She was more strict.
Yeah,
But anything you want, the kids could, they used to go and sit on his head almost.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Grandma was the baker though, both of you
Oh,
guys.
she used to bake.
But she baked in quantities.
Yeah.
She didn't bake in small things, she baked in quantities.
Pies and all kinds of sweets.
Yeah,
And,
she would, but they wouldn't be small, they wouldn't be little circle pies, they'd be like square pies.
yeah.
And I mean, literally,
And
they were this
like
big.
a cookie sheet.
Yeah, it was huge. But I mean, she had everything down to an art, and her sister.
And donuts she used to
Oh,
make.
donut holes, yeah, and butterflies,
Yeah.
and the strawberry cake roll.
And Becky tried too.
Her sister tried, and it just didn't work.
Didn't work out.
Now,
You mean you record that or what?
yeah,
We'll trim it down later.
now, Grandpa died of what, heart problems?
He was killed.
No, your husband,
Oh, yeah.
my grandfather, of heart problems. And, now, does heart problems, do you know, run in his family?
No, not that I know. Maybe one, I think, the
Now,
older one. Tina.
Did Grandpa have any brothers or sisters?
He had, but they died now.
Now, how many brothers and sisters did he have?
He had one sister
Mm-hmm.
and the apple.
Okay.
You heard of it?
Yeah,
And then he had 5 brothers, I think.
5 brothers. Now, what was his parents' names?
What was his parents' name? The same as Grandpa's.
No, not the last name, Cohn, but their first names. What were their first names?
Penny. Penny.
Peony. That's his father's
Oh,
first name?
the first name.
First name.
Yeah.
His father's first name was Peony?
My father's?
No, Grandpa's father's.
I think Penny, I think.
And what was his mother's name?
I'm not so sure.
What was your mother-in-law's name?
Anna.
Anna? And you remember her maiden name or
Anna.
no?
Who's?
Your mother-in-law's maiden name?
They were the same, they weren't related, but the same last name, Kearns.
No, that's your mother and father. I'm saying his mother and father.
Oh,
Your mother-in-law.
my mother, oh, sure, I remember. Mary
Mary.
and Michael.
Michael. His father's name was Michael, and her name was Anna.
Mary.
Mary. I'm sorry, God, I'm getting familiar. Now, do you remember any of his brothers and sisters? His sister's name was what?
Ethel.
His sister's name was
One
Ethel.
sister.
And then what was his?
They had Penny
Yeah,
and Harry
Harry.
and who else?
Who's Uncle Abe?
Uncle Baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
He's a brother, one of the brothers.
now,
He had 4 or 5 brothers.
okay, now do they all live here in the United States, or did they also live in Russia?
Oh, they came from Russia too.
Okay, so his family all came from Russia? And did his family stay here, or were they, any of them left in Russia too?
No, they stayed in the United States.
So they all-
Milwaukee in.
They all were
Yeah.
here in the United States? 'Cause I
Yeah.
knew, like, Abby I knew, and Peony I knew.
And Harry,
I don't remember Harry.
you don't remember.
No.
Auntie Sarah,
Auntie Sarah's name, yeah, that I remember, and I remember old Auntie.
musical Auntie Patch.
I remember when old Auntie
And
was,
Auntie Ashke, she was nice.
yeah, and Auntie Eshke, I remember.
Peanut.
Peony, I remember. Abby, I remember, because he always used to call me Shma.
Yeah, Blondie.
Yeah, that was, old Auntie used to call me Blondie.
Oh, yeah?
What was her real name, old Auntie?
Sarah.
Sarah? That's who you stayed with, right?
Huh, yeah.
That's who you stayed with, was Sarah Kearns. And that she is,
See, Uncle was the brother to my grandpa.
now why don't you tell us some stories about him? Wasn't he a real nice man?
Who, my uncle?
Yeah, the one you stayed with.
Oh, he was a doll. He was so good. She'd go away, and I'd be home in the house with him, and he would say, well, you go and buy yourself something. Take out and give me money.
And she was the strict one, right?
She was a strict one. Ugh. I had to wash and scrub the floors and walls. But he was in the house I lived up.
Now,
I went to a planet too, she was like a stepmother, real, she never had children.
now who was she? She was related to your father or your mother?
No, the uncle was related to
That
me,
was-
and he married her.
Right. So your uncle was related to your father
Yeah,
or to your mother? Your father? It was your father's. So they were brothers?
mhm.
And then I remember you telling the story that you went and you had to go to the bathroom. And you went in there and you didn't want to turn on the lights and disturb anyone. And you went to
Sat
go
on-
sit- and she sat on her uncle. Because he didn't want to do the same thing. He didn't want to disturb anyone. Now, how were the houses built?
Oh,
Back
they were
then.
beautiful home. She had a beautiful home, my aunt and uncle.
How many bedrooms did she have?
I think 3,
3 bedrooms?
and just 2 people. I was there, I stayed with them. He was wonderful to me. She'd go away and he would give me money. I said, go buy yourself something.
Now, they didn't have any kids. Now, how many other brothers did he have in the Milwaukee area?
Who?
Your uncle. Or your father. It would be your father's brother.
My
They would-
father had like 2 brothers.
Did they live here in Milwaukee?
One did.
Just the one
The
that
other one
lived?
lived in Russia.
Now, how did the one that lived here, how did he get here?
At that time, you could get in if you had money to.
Oh, okay. So back then it wasn't restricted. Back
Not restricted.
when you went, it was restricted
Not for me.
because you were born here. But everyone else was restricted because of the fighting.
Yeah.
You were restricted, and the only people who could come
Yeah,
were
not
United States
everybody could come
citizens.
in.
Right.
I was, because I was born here, I was a citizen and I could come in.
Now, one of your brothers died of rabies.
A dog bit him. He was a little kid, he was 5 years old or 6, something like that. He was playing outside and the dog came running by him and he jumped on him and just bit him and it got rabies from the dog and that was it. And a couple weeks later he died.
Now, did he bite your father also?
Sure.
He bit your father, and then how did your father get treated?
Well, he had a better chance. That time they right away took him and to a big hospital and they kept him there for months and months. And he got out of it.
So you lost one of
He
your.
wasn't bit so severely,
But your brother bit your father. Now, what was the age difference between you?
They had to put him to sleep.
Oh, they had to put him to sleep.
Not my father, but my
Your brother, right. Now, as far as you knew, that was the only brother or sister that died that you knew of at the time.
Yeah.
As far as you know, they could all still be alive. I mean, it could happen. I
Yeah,
mean, some of them could be, because you aren't the youngest.
no.
You were right in the middle, so you have younger brothers and sisters. And did you have to take care of the younger ones?
Oh, sure.
Were you one of the older daughters?
No. I had two older sisters and then I came on the third.
And you
And I
all
had
had
a
to,
younger sister, yeah,
and you had to take care of them? All of you guys
Sure.
had to take care of?
little one. My mom used to bake bread and sell, collars and things like that. And it was a hardship, it wasn't easy,
Now, did you,
especially after my father died.
now whose choice was it for you to move here? Was it your own
Well,
choice?
Yeah, see, they didn't have no children, and they knew I was born here in
Mhm.
Milwaukee. So they found out first that they can bring me over, and if I want to come, and I said, yeah. She was a little maniac.
Did you know at the time, though? You didn't know?
No, I didn't know.
You just assumed that
But
they were going to be
whatever she
there.
told me, I did. I scrubbed, I washed, I ironed, it was a good maid there. But
Now,
he was good. When she'd go away, he'd give me money.
Hmm.
Don't tell.
yeah.
He was good.
Now, your in-laws, did you get along with Grandpa's
Yeah.
parents? No.
Very nice. They were older already. And his father was nice. And
Now, what kind of a wedding did you guys have?
They
You and
had
Grandpa?
Not much of a wedding. Auntie made, they had a hookah, in the
Mhm.
house. And they put it up and she baked some stuff and, that was the wedding. No dancing, no nothing.
Oh, no dancing, no nothing. So weddings changed a little bit,
Yeah, oh yeah,
and
those years. If you have a family and, it's different, but this is, I couldn't expect nothing out of
Right.
them. And Grandpa's family, they didn't have too much.
okay. Now, what did Grandpa's father do?
He was a shoemaker.
He was a shoemaker. Didn't your family was? Did my dad's family do shoes too when they moved here? No?
I don't know.
I know my grandfather, I think, was a truck.
Sydney, you mean?
I think he was a truck driver, so
Yeah.
he was a truck driver. And I know Grandma worked at
He used to
Oh,
drive,
cab?
I think a
Okay.
cab.
cab. Thought it was a truck, I didn't know.
Yeah, I
Um,
think a cab.
now, did you get along with Sydney and Ada?
Oh, yeah.
No, Ada liked you? Grandma liked you?
She didn't say, hey, I love you. But we got along. We used to invite them and they invited us for dinners. And, we got along as good as possible.
Yeah. Now,
Does this go on?
it's still on. You
Does
see
it
the-
work?
Yeah, the red light is on, that means it's going. Now,
You loved your mom.
who?
Auntie
Who?
Kearns.
Oh, you're the one, Sarah? I mean,
Huh?
that old auntie loved
Auntie
you?
Sarah, yeah.
The one that you live
Yeah,
with?
when she was born, she.
Oh, she liked that, huh?
Yeah.
I know that when I was born, I know that she used to always call me Blondie.
Yeah. You remember her?
Yeah. I
See?
remember going over
She
there.
liked you too. She liked kids. She never could have kids.
That's gotta be a sad thing.
Yeah. I
Um,
don't know, see it, her or him, one of
yeah,
the two.
yeah. Well, it's like Mecky.
Huh?
How's Mecky into
Yeah.
the family? How is Mecky into
Becky had a miserable childhood, a
her
miserable.
mother? Now, how was her mother
Sarah.
intertwined? That's not the Sarah you lived with.
Yeah.
No, Mecky's mother.
No, Becky's mother was named Sarah too.
Yeah, Mecky's mother. How
She
did?
was a pest.
Oh, I know. I remember
She used to
her.
make Becky's life.
Now, how
Becky used
she?
to come by me and beg me to speak.
Now, who's Mecky's father and mother? How are they intertwined?
The
in this?
father is Grandpa's brother.
Oh, okay,
Harry.
okay. So that was here. See, I don't remember Mecky's father, just the mother.
The mother you remember?
Yeah,
Sarah?
that I remember. She was a bitter pill.
Yeah, she was a bit.
Now, maybe it
And
was.
Becky used to run away and she'd come by us.
Yeah. Now I remember that either Mecky or Joe couldn't have kids too.
Yeah,
So maybe
Becky didn't have no children.
No,
I
she
think
adopted.
they adopted the
Yeah.
little boy.
Yeah, he ain't little. David, he ain't so little.
Huh?
Yeah, David's not so little. He's a big boy now.
Now he
Oof,
is,
he's
yeah.
huge. He's
Well,
6.
did you see him lately? Or
I
what?
saw him a few years back. He's huge. He was a
Really?
huge boy, yeah.
Yeah, well, he got to be,
Yeah, he's definitely a
she
good
fed him
boy.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes, they were very happy with him, and he was happy to be there.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
an actress, Sarah.
Mm,
Used to nag her all the husband.
yeah, she was
We
definitely.
lived with them for a couple months, I think.
With Mickey's parents?
Yeah, when we first got married.
Oh, okay. No, I thought you lived with Auntie when you first got married. Not with Mickey's
Well,
parents.
after a while.
Oh, you moved in with Mickey's parents
Well, I
too?
think I moved from one fire to the next
Oh,
one.
God.
But
And then
we
you-
stayed with Auntie Sarah a couple months because she used to be a little jealous of me, you know. but
Now, back then, did they give baby showers or no?
They used to give baby showers, but I didn't have
You
any.
didn't have a baby
No.
shower? Now, did you have a wedding shower at all? Now, did you have any other relatives other than your uncle that lived here in the Milwaukee area at the time? Or you had no other relatives? Just had friends and stuff? Because now you got a big clan of
Yeah, I
family.
had a girl like Sophie and Katie.
Right, you had
and that-
a lot
that
of
was my
friends.
friends.
Right, you have a lot of
And I have
friends.
now too, of
Yeah.
course. So, you know, through the years,
Yeah, because now your family's huge. Now, how is, what's the guy's name in Waukesha?
Sam and Ethel.
Sam and Ethel?
Ethel was Grandpa's sister.
Oh, okay. One of Grandpa's sisters. And
And he married,
Eddie?
huh,
Who's Eddie related to? Eddie,
to Auntie Ethel.
Okay, that's his
Auntie Ethel
mother?
and Marilyn,
okay, yeah, Marilyn.
yeah,
Now, Marilyn and Eddie are brother and sister?
yeah.
And their parents were the ones, that was Ethel
Ethel and Sam,
and Sam. And is that the only 2 kids they had?
huh?
Was that the only 2? Eddie
Yeah.
and,
That's all they had too.
okay. And then I'm trying to think of all the other ones today.
And there was, they had brothers, like Grandpa had Harry and Uncle Abe, you know.
Now, how is the grasshopper related?
The what?
Grasshopper. Grasshopper, what's the guy's name?
Oh, grasshopper?
Yeah.
Who's the grasshopper?
God, what's his name? Oh, I can see his face and I can see his wife's face. God, what's his name? Real tall, Cone. His name is Cone. Not Abe.
Amy?
No, it's not Abe.
Harry?
No. He goes to our temple, and his wife's kind of short and pudgy with glasses. I want to say Marlene, but it's not Marlene.
Oh, Louis.
Louis, there you go, Louis. Louis, how is Louis intertwined?
okay.
It's like playing charades. Now, how is Louis intertwined with the family?
He's a cousin. He's okay. But, you know, they live in Waukesha.
Not Louis. Louis doesn't live in Waukesha.
Yeah.
That's Eddie.
Eddie?
Eddie lives in Waukesha.
Remember Eddie?
Oh, yeah. Eddie's got Jody and Debbie and
No,
Mark.
no, hold it.
Yeah.
That's a different family altogether.
Eddie Cohn
Eddie Cohen,
has,
Auntie Ethel's son.
okay, Auntie Ethel's son.
But there's another Eddie,
Now, which Eddie is
and
this?
this Auntie Ashka's family.
Okay. And he's also in Waukesha?
They lived in Waukesha also, but then they moved to Milwaukee.
Now, what was his last name?
Cohen,
Eddie Cohn too? They're
Yeah.
both Eddie Cohn?
yeah.
Wow.
His father and my husband were brothers.
Oh, okay.
So
So,
Harry was a brother. He had quite a few brothers.
yeah, you guys had big families back
Yeah.
then, kind of like Dan's family. Now, what is your most vivid memory? If you had to pinpoint one hot spot in your life, what is like your happiest moment?
Happiest moments when I was married to Grandpa.
Yeah. What was your
And I was
nickname for him?
I used to live with my aunt, and, you know, but this one had a nice apartment, you know, house, and, you know, and later on we bought a real brick house, I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that one, but the one house I remember is the one on
Yeah.
47th Street,
49.
49th Street. That's the one I
And
remember.
so that was my happiest time. I
Now,
miss him.
how old were you when Grandpa died?
Yeah. must be,
Gosh,
I don't know.
gotta be what? 30 years ago?
Huh?
20 something, 30 years ago? Was it 30 years ago? No, it wasn't that long. No, it was
Oh,
25.
At least 25.
So you were 60s.
Not quite, I don't think. Let's go and ask your mom. She knows.
The entity.
Oh, you're not sure what it is?
I'm trying to so that if someone needs information, they have the information. Now, where did when you came by boat, right? Where was
Yeah.
the dock? Was it actually in Milwaukee?
Oh,
When the boat
no,
stopped.
first you will dock in a different place, and then they leave you off, and then you go on a train.
Oh, you took a train. So where?
Because it's far from the dock. So, and the water wasn't deep enough to come to where I lived.
Now, so when you got here into Milwaukee, did they make you show proof that you were born here? Or did they just worry
No,
about
I
it when you
have
first...
my birth certificate.
So did they make you keep showing your birth certificate to them?
No.
They just
One-
initially...
One or twice, and that's
And nobody bad
I
came
have
bothering you
papers.
because
No.
you were a single person by
no,
yourself?
They treated me nice.
So you
And the
actually...
people there when I was coming to America, the people on the boat were so nice. They saw me alone. You know, usually they travel with families, and I was all alone. So they would come one by one, and this one would give me this, and apple or some different fruit, or
Yeah.
ask me if I want something to eat.
Now, was it a hard decision to leave your family at the time?
It
Well, you were
was.
kind of separated from your mom anyway if you were living with your aunt in another city,
Sure.
in Kiev.
Sure, it was hard too. It was hard.
Now, did you go back
I
to see your...
you know, my mother came and says, you know, that they sent letters that they would like us to come, you know, like Auntie didn't have no children, so anyhow, she wanted us to come, so we're gonna.
And actually, you were the only prospect because nobody else was born here in the United
That's
States.
right. And so, when they told me, and I thought, gee, I'll have it good. So I said, oh, I wanna go.
Well, in a sense, you
I
did
had
because
it
you
good.
didn't
Maybe
have...
if not, I wouldn't even meet my husband, or, you know.
Right. Well, everything
have
had...
children, and,
Right.
you know, would have a different life.
Yeah, definitely.
So I thought, listen, I said, yeah.
At least you got to sleep through the night. Even if you had to work, at least you could sleep through the night without worrying about bombings over your head.
Yeah,
Now, were you...
but later on it quietened down.
Now, did you ever go back to Russia?
Huh?
Have you ever gone back to
No.
Russia? You've never gone back to Russia since then? Did you try to contact anyone ever since?
Oh, yeah. But that was hard, and there was the war after that was, after I left, there was again a war, you know, fighting, there was fighting all the time. So there was like,
You weren't there during like the Holocaust, were you?
no,
You were already here?
yeah,
So your family was there during the Holocaust, but you weren't. And had you any contact since the Holocaust, or no? Was it before the Holocaust was the last time?
we wrote letters and this and that.
Did you get them back or no? No? No?
Get them up.
Oh. Now, did Grandpa used to write you poems at all?
Poems, you know, it wasn't a poem.
Did he sing to you?
Huh?
Did he sing to you?
He liked to sing.
You like to sing? Did he like to dance?
Yeah.
You like to dance?
I mean, he wasn't, you know, like he danced.
Now, did you guys go out and...
Well, yeah, we had friends, a lot of friends, you know,
And-
before, like, you know,
Now, would the guys play poker? Now, when did you guys start playing mahjong?
with the girls.
Were you young when you...
You know, Ruthie and Golden
Yeah,
Cat,
sure.
and Katie and Stuffy, we made a club and we played, before we played bridge.
Okay, you played bridge too? Grandpa played bridge?
Before the marriage.
And Grandpa played bridge? Now,
Katie had he was a good-looking man, but he was,
Jack?
Jack. Oh, he treated her like, he would insult her in front of anybody. And that we couldn't stand.
And Jack owned a butcher shop, right?
Yeah,
Or was that later on? Did he always own a butcher shop?
no, later on. No, later.
Now, didn't Grandpa have the glove factory also with another man, one of his friends?
A brother.
Oh, a brother.
Max. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a friend. Okay, Max.
Auntie
Okay,
Minnie.
yeah. So then he had it with Max, and then he bought him out, and he had the whole shop to himself. And that's when he brought Dad and Melvin in. Were Dad and Melvin in at the time when his brother was there still?
Well, he bought him out, so, well, then a couple years later, because the boys were young yet,
Mm-hmm.
so a couple years later. he took him
Now, did Stephen ever work at the shop, or no?
out. He used to, Grandpa used to say, he would come, and we
The kids are getting rambunctious in there.
You're
Huh?
next.
No, I'm not those.
come on in.
It's not, they think that's 9:30.
Please, good. Then I'll finally fall asleep. Now, do you remember when your grandparents' birthdays are at all,
My grandparents?
or parents at all?
No.
Do you know what your grandparents' names are?
The grandparents, yes.
Mom. She tries to get out of it. Now, did you? What was easier, raising the girl or the boys?
Tired.
Girl,
My mom was easier to raise than the boys.
They really,
because Melvin was a little wily.
they are.
Do you remember your grandparents' names?
Mama?
Which grandparents are we
My-
speaking?
Do you remember hers?
I never met them, but
No.
Nathan and Anna.
Anna.
Hannah.
Anna. And they both were named Kern. Do you remember Grandpa's? Now, did you get to meet Grandpa's?
I don't,
Parents?
no. Maybe the grandma I met, but I don't remember.
Your grandma, you mean?
Yeah,
And what were their names?
Michael and Mary.
You remember Auntie Ethel,
Yeah. She's not my grandma.
No, but she was your,
She's my aunt.
Yeah.
Well, that has nothing to do with my
Now, who's
grandma.
Max?
Was my father's brother.
Now, do you remember all your father's brothers' names?
I think so.
Yeah,
What are
she
they all?
remembers that.
Uncle Peony,
Yeah.
Uncle Avy,
Okay,
Uncle Max,
Mm.
Uncle Harry,
okay,
Grandpa, and Auntie Ethel.
okay.
So there you are.
It's enough.